There simply hasn't been a lot of discussion in the various poker books or DVDs out there on the market that deal specifically with playing against a small number of opponents. Most Hold'em games are played with either 9, 10, or even 11 players. In a game like that, you can sit tight and wait for premium hands before entering a pot. Since you only have to pay one blind twice per round, the pressure to play lots of hands just really isn't there. When you're playing short-handed, however, you simply are forced to play more hands since each hand you throw away will actually cost you more money. Let me explain how that works. Let's say you're sitting in a 10-handed Hold'em game with 5 and 10 blinds. One round around the table will cost you $15 total if you didn't play one hand. Now that's an average of $1.50 per hand. Now that doesn't seem too bad, but look what happens when you cut the number of players from 10 to 5. Now you'd be paying the same $15, but you'd only get to see 5 hands. That means on average it's going to cost you $3 for every hand you fold. If you take that a step further, in a 3-handed game, you'd be paying $15 to see just 3 hands, which averages out to $5 per hand. The ante or blind structure dictates how loosely you should be playing. For example, if there were no blinds or antes at all, it would be silly to play a hand in Hold'em other than pocket aces. Yet, since you do have to pay a penalty for waiting for the best cards, only playing aces would see your chip stack get anteed off round by round. Okay, so that should help explain why it's important to play more hands in short-handed game, but it's also important to understand what hands you should add to your repertoire and how you should be playing them. Hands that do well hot and cold, meaning they could win with no improvement, go up in value, while speculative hands like 6-7 suited go down in value. That's very different from the strategy you should employ at a 10-handed table. You see, at a 10-handed table, a hand like 6-7 suited does pretty well when there's 5 or 6 players seeing the flop. A hand like King-7 offsuit, not so much. So you want to be a little more aggressive with hands like Ace-7 and King-Jack or pocket pairs, while being a little bit more careful with those smaller suited connectors. The key word here is aggressive. In short-handed play, it's far more important to maintain an aggressive style than it would be in a ring game. For example, in a ring game, if a player raised from early position and you find yourself in there with a pair of pocket 4s, there's no need to even get involved with the hand. You could safely fold since you have nothing invested. In a 5-handed game, though, this would be a great opportunity to get aggressive and re-raise before the flop even. I know I've said that you shouldn't always do that, but think about it. A small pair is still going to be a favorite over even Ace-King. As a general rule, short-handed play is more of an aggressive fight for the antes, while ring game play is more about waiting on premium cards in good situations. There just isn't as much pressure to play simply because the blinds don't come around as fast. That's why many players seem afraid of playing short-handed poker. It's high-stress, high-energy poker, which has you making a lot more intricate and marginal decisions with much weaker hands. Frankly, that's where the stronger players thrive, while the weaker players simply get pushed around. The truest form of short-handed poker is mano-y-mano, one-on-one heads-up poker. I'll save that topic for another time, though.